sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where the keeper of the light sounds the fog bell to signal it's time for football. Coming up, two teams ready to square off. It's the Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots. Visitor sideline, a look at the Raiders head coach. His team making the long flight, always difficult to play the 1 o'clock Eastern game when a West Coast team feels like it's 10 a.m. on their body clock. The other side, it's Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. His team looking for a spark, hoping their fans will give it to them here at home as we are set to go. Mike Tirico with Greg Olson. We're ready to start year 2 together in the booth. And off we go from Foxborough. The return team gonna let that one go. It'll go through the end zone. It's a touchback. So here come the Patriots, and Greg, they are led by their second-year quarterback, the number 3 overall pick in 2024 out of North Carolina. It's Drake May.
Mike, as I think back to opening day over my years of playing in the NFL, it didn't matter if I was a rookie or going into my 14th season. I think every player goes into that game with just a little bit of extra nerves. New seat.
He gets 3. And he will score. Sean Booty. Touchdown, Patriots. For the extra point. He gets it to go, and the Patriots have their first lead of the new year. They're up 7-0 here in the season opener. $7-0 is our score as this kick is sent into the air. On the return is Dylan Lowby. He'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense set to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out, Greg, by the former Hoosier, the rookie quarterback from Indiana.
Mike, isn't there just something different about week 1 of the NFL season? I mean, after months of anticipation, debate, speculation, it all gets settled on the field. New coaches, new teams, rookies playing their first time. Man, it's just an exciting time of year, and I'm pumped to be calling it alongside you.
That's good for a Las Vegas first down. It's a gain of 17 yards.
Off play action. He'll set up to throw. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up second down. Now, faking the give. Open man. That's Trey Tucker. They're going to work this down inside the 45. They'll come up here, 1st and 10. Here's Genty. And they'll manage to get this ahead for a pickup of 5. So, from 37, here's 2nd and 5. We'll keep it on the ground with Genty. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. Give them 14 on that one. First down, Vegas.
Really nice explosive play there on the ground, and tell you what, for these fans sitting in the stadium, they're not used to seeing their home team pushed around, so continue to be physical at the line of scrimmage, mix in the runs with the pass, and if they can continue to generate these big explosive runs, I don't think they need to go away from it.
That one thrown on the run, but the receiver had to reach back, couldn't bring it in, and it is incomplete. We'll try again here, 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. This one complete right side. And he's very close to a touchdown. They mark him just shy of the goal line. First catch for him on this new season, and it results in a first down. Genty goes over the top and into the end zone. Touchdown.
And what a response by this offense. It's not easy taking the field, Mike, for the first time in the game, and you find yourself already down a score. They watch their opponent kind of march down the field and score in the opening possession, and they're able now to go out and square it on up. Allows you to take a deep breath, maybe get a little confidence for your defense to go out and get a stop, and they come away with this extra point. We got ourselves a tie ball game.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Raiders come right back to tie it at 7. Each team one possession, each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. So the Patriots, 4-13 last year. They make the coaching change. They find a quarterback they hope in Drake May. And all of a sudden you bring Mike Vrabel in here, and Greg, it feels a little bit different around this Patriots squad.
It does. And listen, there's no question. In the NFL, Mike, we all know you need to be good at 2 spots if you want to be consistent over any period of time. And that's the head coach, and they believe they got their guy in Mike Vrabel. After the 1-year tryout of Gerard Mayo, they feel like they finally landed on the person who can carry on that Patriots legacy, that identity. And then, of course, you need to be competitive, and you need to be set at the quarterback position. And now going into year 2, Drake May, in the midst of chaos last year, Mike, he was pretty good. I mean, he did a lot of really good things with some really bad things going on around him. So they think they've got the quarterback checked. They think they've got their head coach of the future. Now just continue to build that roster, build that identity of winning, and this is going to go a long way towards doing that. A bit of a quick hitter here. What you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short game.
3rd and 7. May to throw again. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
The threat of making a poor decision and throwing a pick is always in the back of your mind, and while you can't play scared, you do have to play smart. If you can't find an open target, throw the ball away, live for the next down.
The Raiders offense ready to see what they can do on their second possession. All even here in this opening quarter. And the drive will begin with first down. Right away, they'll set up to throw. Got a man coming across the field. He's got it. An ideal beginning to this drive. 24 on the first play.
47-yard line.
A handoff, running left is Genty. And he'll be out of bounds, down at the 20. So they come to the line for first down and 10.
Another Raiders first down.
The red zone now. He'll drop to throw. That's caught. It's the tight end, Brock Bowers. And he's going to be marked out of bounds down at the 3. So it took just 3 plays, but just like that, they have first and goal. That one to the end zone, but incomplete. Jalen Naylor was the intended receiver that time. And it'll bring up second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he's going to go backward, taken down at the 6.
It makes sense on second and goal, Mike, to keep this ball on the ground. You always have third down again to finally punch it in. But now after the defense forces you backwards, I think you have to consider putting this one in the air here on 3rd and goal.
So, first quarter in the books here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. all even on the scoreboard. And we're back to Foxborough in a moment. Quarter two begins. It is Raider football as they will see what they can do with this 3rd and goal. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. He'll try to set up the screen to Genty. And he will get into the end zone. Ashton Genty. Touchdown, Raiders. And how about that? His first career catch also becomes his first career NFL touchdown. Game to add the PAT. He's got it. And the Raiders will move out to a 14-7 lead.
14. Patriots 7.
Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This one crushed. It's over the back line of the end zone. Touchback. And the ball's coming out to the 35. So now the New England offense getting ready for their next possession. Greg, this AFC East, a division that really has been dominated by the Bills. The 5 straight division titles. It's hard to see who can knock them off that perch right now.
Yeah, and I think until someone decides that that's going to change, I think you just have to assume that Buffalo remains the king of the East. And I think when you look at the bottom of the division with the Jets and New England, they're clearly in a rebuild. Quarterbacks, coaching staffs, trying to kind of get themselves out of the bottom of the division. Miami seems to me, I don't know if they're ready to compete necessarily with Buffalo directly, but Miami is a playoff caliber roster, a playoff caliber team. They've showed it in years past. So if anybody's ready to compete, I think it's Miami. I just don't know, Mike, if they are ready top to bottom over the length of the season to get enough wins to keep pace with a team as good as Buffalo.
And 2 new coaches at the bottom of the standings last year, the Jets and the Patriots. And Greg, both guys who played for a long time in the league and bring a certain amount of toughness to the top of the organization.
Absolutely, and it was very clear exactly what New York and New England were looking for. They wanted culture centers, right? It wasn't about getting the fancy play caller. It wasn't about the X's and O's. They needed to establish an identity and a culture of excellence and of winning. So no question, Mike, there was a very clear mission, a clear path to landing on Grable and Aaron Glenn, and they think they have their guy for the long term.
49-yard line.
On second down, here's Henderson. He'll manage only a couple. Wayne Walker, the linebacker, on the tackle.
48-yard line.
This is 3rd and 6.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
Out of the gun, here's Meg. And they're going to get to him and take him down, take it back to the other side of midfield. A Pro Bowler 4 years running, that is Max Crosby, taking him down for the first sack of this new campaign. Here's Bryce Berringer now. He'll be looking for something a little better than that first effort, which he shanked. And not the greatest of results here. This is going to hit in the field of play and continue out of bounds. The Raiders offense and Ashton Genty heading back out onto the field here. Greg, you take a step back and look at the AFC West big picture. This is historic stuff. Chiefs are going for a 10th straight division title. But you have to remember, 2 other teams in this division won double-digit games last year. So the question is, are the Chargers and the Broncos that far behind Kansas City?
You know, it sounds crazy. When you mentioned 9 in a row, you think, oh, they're just going to continue to run away with it. But I'm actually fascinated by this division. I think LA and Denver are a lot closer to this year's version of Kansas City, maybe than there's a lot of talk about around the rest of the league. So until someone beats them, you'd be crazy to not pick Kansas City. But last year it was a 4-game and a 5-game spread between them. I think this year, come down the stretch, that spread is going to be a lot tighter.
No, Craig, I'm thinking if I'm a fan or even in the front office for the Chargers or the Broncos or the Raiders, do I build my team to try to knock off the king of the hill? Because you only play Kansas City 2 of those 17 games. So how do you factor that into your construction?
Yeah, I think it's such a great point. It's really fascinating to dive into. And while I wouldn't necessarily build my roster to just beat Kansas City or to just beat whoever you view as the top team in the division, you do want to find some commonalities among your 3 division opponents and make sure you are built to play within your division. That's 6 of the 17 now. Winning the division, you get you home playoff games. There's a lot on the line when you win your division and compete for that title. So, yes, every team has to build their roster. If you have a bunch of really good quarterbacks, you better be able to rush the passer and play pass coverage. If you're playing a lot of ground and pound, big running backs, you better be really good on the inside in defense and be able to defend the run. So there's themes across every division, and the teams that are built to compete within the division are usually the teams that find themselves in the playoffs.
They'll try and throw for it on 3rd and 1. Fighting for the goal line. They're going to stop him just short, but he has picked up the first down. Now the Patriots going to use their first timeout. They'll be disappointed there after giving up the first down. Here's Genty trying to find the crease in that mass of humanity, but he's going to come up short. Task a bit tougher as they face 2nd and goal. One more time with Genty, and he's into the end zone yet again. Ashton Genty, touchdown Raiders. It's a debut for the ages, paying immediate dividends. 3 touchdowns in the season opener. Now Gay for the extra point. He's got it. And the Raiders will take a 21-7 lead.
Patriots 7.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Now return coming from the 7. Get across the 20, mark them at the 22-yard line. The Patriots offense ready to see what they can do with this next possession. Now, Greg, as we get the season going, obviously the adjustment to last year's new kickoff rules in place. We talked to a lot of coaches during the year. Folks didn't seem too bothered about letting the other team have the ball at the 30-yard line after a touchdown. But the 35-yard line, I don't know, does that feel any different to you?
You know, it does, and I think the part that people don't talk about enough, Mike, is the impact that it's making on going forward on 4th down, not settling for field goals. Because remember, in the old days, if you got stopped inside the 5 or you scored inside the 5, it was all the difference about I kicked the touchback, they got the ball at the 20. It wasn't that much of a spread, but now all of a sudden, is it in my best interest to settle for a field goal and kick off when I could give you the ball at the 35, where even if I fail down there tight in the red zone on the 3, you now possess the ball inside your own 5-yard line. So I think that's an element now that's causing offenses to go for more touchdowns, kick less field goals, because the ensuing kickoff is giving my opponent the ball in much more favorable territory.
You know, the other rule that is adjusted are overtimes in the regular season will mirror playoff overtime. Each team getting the ball. I'm so happy, Greg, because it just felt so incomplete when a team got to overtime, but then their offense, which may be the best part of the team, never got on the field.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And you hear everyone saying, oh, well, just get a stop. Well, it's that legendary game between Mahomes and Josh Allen where neither team stopped each other. It was just an offensive touchdown festival. So you won a coin toss and you get the ball. Well, the other team's defense hadn't gotten to stop the whole game. If Josh Allen got the ball first, he probably would have scored on a walk-off. So I love the idea of both teams getting the ball. If a game is good enough to go to overtime, let's finish it. We don't need to be in a rush. There's no curfew. Let's let the guys finish it on the field. A lot more similar to how the regular game goes and not have significantly different game flow come overtime.
The clock showing 5 seconds remaining in this half as the kick's away. And he will sit on it here in the end zone for a touchback. From the 35, it's 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. He'll work this ahead for 2, maybe 3. Robert Spillane spills them there. Halftime coming up. We'll get you down to Scott Hansen and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Our trip around the NFL starts now, and it starts with a good one in the AFC West. Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Today is the day, the debut of our new halftime show. Buckle up, everyone. I think you're going to like it. And it's a guy who missed most of the run to the Super Bowl last year, Rashee Rice. He was a tough man to pin down all game long. This, one of his 2 touchdown catches. The Chiefs begin their search for a 4th straight Super Bowl appearance. They get the victory in Week 1. From there, why don't we go to South Philly? Look in on the Eagles as they're hosting the Dallas Cowboys. And this is Hollywood Brown. One of his 2 touchdown catches in the game coming right here. Lastly, let's go down to the Big Easy. The New Orleans Saints hosting the Arizona Cardinals. And it's Travis Etienne. The team got into the red zone. He gets into the end zone. A 10-yard touchdown run. This one's at halftime now, and it's the Saints with the lead in the opener at the half. And time now for one more look at the rest of the scores from around the NFL. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been back and forth to this point. No reason to expect anything different in the second half. As we get you back out to the second half and rejoin Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Interesting first half. We'll see if any strategy changes for the next 30 minutes or more as this second half gets underway. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down inside of the 25-yard line. Operating from their own 23, they'll begin 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Gentry. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4.
And he just continues to chew off more and more yardage with every single carry. And you can see here with the numbers, Mike, for as strong as he was in the first half, it almost looks like he's got even stronger now here in the second.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. Pressure certainly impacted the quarterback there. Couldn't get his arm all the way through. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag comes in. That might make this a 1st down. Here's a handoff to Gentry. And he'll get about 5.
And this is just more of the same, picking up exactly where he left off in the first half. And these numbers, Mike, as you see them, they just pop out at you. I mean, he has been the driving force of this offense from the very start.
They'll go again with Genty. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 13. Good for a Raider first down.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Off-balance throw. It's complete. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They got it inside the 15. They get 25 on that connection. First down, Vegas.
First and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Now they'll set up to throw. That's to the end zone where it's incomplete. What a job in coverage, muscling that one free. It'll be second down now. He'll look to throw. Moving outside the pocket, and he'll just bite the bullet and throw this one away. That was a good idea. Didn't force anything there. But now it's going to bring up third down. He'll drop to throw. And this ball incomplete on third down. Matt Gay coming on for this field goal try. This about as short as you can get. Gay's kick is good. And the Raiders are going to open up a 2-touchdown lead, 24-10.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone, and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
Now, here comes a return from the 9. And he's down at the 23, and that's where the offense will take over. The Patriots offense getting ready for their opening possession of this second half. You know, Greg, early on, it's always new faces in different places. Off-season movement, what caught your eye?
I think there's so many good ones, right? You talk about Stephon Diggs. He ends up in New England, and Cooper Kupp now. He's moving on to Seattle from the Rams, but I think it's the guy the Rams signed to replace him, Davante Adams. I know he's not the youngest anymore, but watching him play in New York with Aaron Rodgers last year with the Jets, he can still run, he can still make every catch, he can still go up and compete at the high point. I think you put Davante Adams with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, in that offense run by Sean McVay. I think that's a sneaky, maybe not a sneaky because he's a really household name, but I think that's a great signing.
And always interesting from the offseason, the quarterback movement and unique ties. Some of the biggest names were or now are Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, now the guy that is going to line up behind center for Seattle, Mike, is Sam Darnold. And, of course, we all saw that incredible season he had last year in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and that really dynamic Vikings offense. So now he goes to Seattle. I think he's going to have an inspired Cooper Kupp. He was let go from the Rams. If he's healthy, he's a big weapon. Jackson Smith-Njigba. He has some pieces in that puzzle that he can push the ball downfield to. So I'm excited to see Sam. That's what I'm
trying to fit in the slant, and it was intercepted. Picked off by Nakobe Dean. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit overeager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
The Raiders offense and Ashton Genty heading back out onto the field here. Room to run at the 35. And he will score again. Ashton Genty. Touchdown, Vegas. And how about that? His first career catch also becomes his first career NFL touchdown. Big play out of the running game as the back accelerates all the way to the house for the rushing touchdown.
And Mike, when we talk about burst, that's what we're talking about. And they told us all week, be ready for this guy. He's got something special to him. And that long touchdown there is exactly what they're talking about.
Patriots 10.
Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This one taken at the 7. And he is stopped at 25. The drive will begin there. The Patriots offense ready to see what they can do. So, Greg, you start to think about, okay, who are the teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that have a chance this year? Look, it happens every year. We just have to identify who they are. Who are a couple top of mind for you as we start 2025 here?
You know, as I start in the AFC, I think the Cincinnati Bengals. And you got to think the way their season ended last year, they rattled off 5 wins straight, really on the back of Joe Burrow. We could have made the argument if they're a playoff team that Joe Burrow was the best player in the league. I mean, he was incredible. Most weeks, Mike, he single-handedly carried that offense. Now, new defensive coordinator in Al Golden coming from the college ranks. Can he just make that defense in Cincinnati happen? Because if they just play a little bit better, that high-profile offense, I think they're a team. They might not win the division with Baltimore, but they're going to be close and maybe at least get one of those wild card spots.
Why don't you flip it over? Who are the guys you're watching in the NFC?
You know, I think Dallas is going to find themselves, just the fact that I know the division is difficult. Obviously, Philadelphia remains really strong. Does Washington kind of regress a little bit back now in year 2? They were the high-profile, big splash team of last year. Do they regress to the median? Time will tell. But I think healthy Dallas, healthy Dak, healthy Micah Parsons, like that roster that we saw play last year is not the roster on paper that we expected to see. So I think Dallas has a chance. I think San Francisco always is going to be a team, again, dealt with their own injuries last year with McCaffrey and all the stuff on defense. So I think San Francisco and Dallas are 2 perennial teams we expect to be in the playoff hunt. They missed out last year. I wouldn't be shocked to see them back in it again this year.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. A couple of big plays, one after the other, and now it's 1st and goal. Working out of the gun, it's May. To the goal line and in. Hunter Henry. Touchdown, New England. Well, Greg, the light's still on way down at the end of the tunnel here. They are climbing back into this one with that touchdown here in the 4th quarter.
And they have a tall task ahead of them, Mike, but they have a chance. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen. They got a 2-possession game here late. They're going to need a couple stops, and they're going to need a couple things to bounce their way.
The kick is good, but there are penalty flags down. They might have made contact with the kicker too late. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. And no chance to return this one through the end zone for a touchdown. The Raiders offense and Ashton Genty heading back out onto the field here. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. Back to throw here to begin the drive. His throw on 1st down is going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Leads to 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. They'll try to set up the screen here. And they will finally run him down. A huge play there on the screen pass. 33 yards.
Well, I think one thing's for sure, Mike. I don't think we're seeing an offense that is comfortable with this late lead. They're continuing to put pressure on the defense and say, hey, I don't care how much we're up by. We're going to continue to execute our passing game, and if there's opportunities downfield, we're going to continue to take it.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
To the right side and incomplete.
And this game almost just flipped completely on his head. You find yourself with a lead, just trying to milk the clock away in the 4th quarter, and that's a gift. And that defender just flat out drops the ball, and he's able to secure that takeaway. This game looks very different for this offense.
Matt Gay coming on for this field goal try. This one from 47 yards out. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Raiders will extend their lead.
And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on 3 and extend their lead.
We'll start at the 4. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. The Patriots offense makes their way back out to the field for their next possession. Well, Greg, this is going to take a lot of self-reflection here. You build up so much for the season opener. To struggle like this has got to be a tough field.
Yeah, we've never spoken to a team before their week 1 matchup where they didn't tell us this is the best training camp they've ever had, it's the best roster they've ever had. I mean, how many times have we heard that? So in this case, though, Mike, I think you have to be careful that you don't overcorrect. Of course, this did not go according to plan. This is not what they've been building to through their entire offseason schedule, but it's still also just one game. So don't throw everything in the garbage and start all over. Don't throw out all the hard work from the previous offseason. Stay the course, fix what went wrong, improve, and move on to week 2.
He's across midfield. And they're going to work this down inside the 45.
A gain of 19 yards. And the Patriots
A run, and this is Henderson. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down.
tackle made at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Operating from the shotgun, it's May. He's found his receiver, Buche. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. In motion goes Dobbs. To throw on 1st down is May. And off the deflection, it is taken in. And he's into the end zone. Hunter Henry, touchdown New England. That is 2nd touchdown now here in the season opener.
Like we used to have a saying that it was the responsibility of the receiver to run the route through the eyes of the quarterback. And I think this is a great example here. 2 guys clearly on the same page. Quarterback expected his target to be in a certain place at a certain time. He's there, ball's delivered accurately. He's able to pick up the rest with his legs, and that's a big-time connection for the touchdown.
Even with 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, they're going to try an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
Late in the game, this is where you see teams really start taking some chances. And boy, this was a big one, but it's not going to work out.
Run right up the gut with Jensen. And they'll take this down inside the 35. Now the Patriots going to use their first timeout. They'll be disappointed there after giving up the 1st down.
A gain of 11 on the play. 1st down, Las Vegas.
Oh, he's got Tucker open downfield. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line.
Raiders, 1st down.
Ball down to the 16-yard line. And it's 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
On play action, he'll set up to throw. Oh, that may be the break they needed. That one's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Chad Muma. return there. He is taken down up close to the 35-yard line.
These second-half red zone opportunities are critical, Mike. I mean, you're not going to score every single time you get down here, but it feels like at this point in the game, this might be my last chance to get this deep. You've got to make the most of those limited opportunities. At least come away with 3. You're hoping for 6, but in this case, you come away with 0.
The Patriots offense and Drake May making their way back out. And he has been masterful so far leading this offense, keeping the mistakes to a minimum, on point with his passes, generally one step ahead of the defense all game long. On 1st and 10, here's May. And he let him a bit too much. The pass is incomplete. Trying to locate Travion Henderson out of the backfield. And that will lead to a 2nd down. To throw is May. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 10.
To throw now, May. He's got a man. It's gone. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield.
25 yards on the play. That's good for a Patriots 1st down.
May going to hold on to this one. The defense not fighting. They stay at home and they tackle him for no gain.
No gain on the play. 2nd and
on 2nd down, it's May. And Dobbs open left side. And they'll move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line.
And the Patriots 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
One timeout at their disposal, but the more pressing need, they have to score twice. It's 1st and 10. Douglas in motion. They'll drop to throw. That one taken in by Douglas. And he's close to another 1st down. He's brought down just shy of the marker.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and
May to throw on 2nd down. And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver even knew what was going on. That's incomplete. Demario Douglas, the intended target. 3rd down coming up. May to throw again. That is incomplete. Here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down.
Andres Borregales on for the Patriots field goal. A 26-yard attempt.
And this one right down the middle. It's good. And they are indeed back within 1 score.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit. Yeah, Mike, and that should just about do it. They do have 1 timeout, so if you can get some stops, use your timeout. Theoretically, you can get the ball back. Not going to have a lot of time. Probably going to need a miracle finish.
That's left side to Tucker. The Pats can stop it here. They'll use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll take it with just over 90 seconds left on the clock. On 1st and 10, it's Genty. And a good run there to get him 5 yards.
And he's been on an absolute tear throughout this entire game, Mike. I mean, he's averaging over 10 yards per carry. And anytime you can run the ball with that explosiveness, it's just going to be hard to beat.
He's got the tight end there. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a 1st down after a gain of 7. Now Genty. And this is going to be a touchdown. They are going to extend the lead here in the final minute of play.
And that's exactly how you stress all week finishing a game. get the ball and leave no doubt. But that late touchdown, Mike, that should all but just seal this victory away.
Gay to add the PAT. It's up and good. And the Raiders will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter. So the kickoff team out there one final time in the final minute as they kick it away. And this one sent all the way over the back line. No fun of putting this in the landing area. So it'll come out per the new rule to the 35-yard line. This is 1st and 10. Now May. Under pressure, and down he goes. They got him. Max Crosby. He works his way in to record the second sack of his young career. They'll come up now for 2nd down. Out of the gun, here's May. The look at his big target, Henry, over the middle. Inside the 20. And this is going to be a touchdown. Hold everything. They are not done yet.
Well, that was step one. The offense did their job, get this thing back within one possession, so they're still alive. But now they've got to find a way to get a little bit of luck and find a way to get the ball back, and it's not going to be easy.
This is a big spot for the Patriots as they'll go for 2.
The Patriots will line up.
He'll try to pick this up with a run. And he's not going to get in. The decision to go for 2 doesn't pay off. Unable to cut any further into the deficit. They need a late recovery to have any chance. Here comes the onside kick.
That was their last shot. They've got no timeouts left. Now the offense can just simply come take the field. Best play in football, Mike. Victory formation. Take a couple knees. Get on with the win.
On the handoff, this is Genty. And they'll take this down inside the 35. So this one, a win for the visiting Raiders. They move to 1-0, getting the victory to begin the new campaign. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long, everyone.
Typical, body overdoing it, that's so typical. Treating like a god, that's so typical. Still more, that's so typical. Don't